think Florida is a really good area. Just think about like in the area that you're at, where are there markets that are just growing so fast that the demand can't keep up with it? And this is essentially what happened in Florida. So you find a lot of properties like this. Yeah. So, okay. So, all right, marketing, how did you, and you did some deal analysis on it. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about funding. So mm-hmm. How did you come up with using an SBA loan and what happened with that?
Yeah, basically we had some capital available, and I wanted to use the least amount of capital possible because we weren't done investing. Prior to doing self-storage, we have 2 cabins in the Smokies, and so we do short-term rentals. We have 2 cabins in the Smokies. We started that in 2019. In 2020, we purchased 2 of those, once again, while living in Jamaica. So those are doing well, but we wanted to diversify a bit and didn't want to have all our eggs in the same basket. And I've always been interested in self-storage, and I was not accountable enough. And so joining Stacey's group really helped me get to that point of, knowing these calls are coming up and having a conversation with people like, what are you doing? Like, what are you really doing? Are you really, sending out mailers? Are you really cold calling? Are you really sending texts and stuff? So, but to answer your question, sorry, I got off track there. So we chose the SBA loan because I wanted us to put down as little as possible so that we have more capital available for more purchases in the future.
And so how did it go? Okay, so an SBA essentially looks at like income producing properties. Did this property produce enough income, or how did it work with the terms, and what did they come up with?
Yeah. So if you've been around, there's a couple of big players in this game. One of which is Live Oak Bank in North Carolina, and the other person who had a run of mine was Kavi, who's Stacey can get you the contact information. I'll have it in front of me, but he's kind of like almost like a lender broker. So I presented both of them, both Live Oak Bank and Kavi, with the deal, and then Kavi, of course, shops it to a handful of banks. And so when it was all said and done, the 2 packages came back, and they were very similar. But I liked Live Oak's better. And to be honest with you, at this point, I don't even remember why now. I think maybe the interest rate was a tick lower or something like that. I don't remember what it was. I mean, they were very similar, but I chose Live Oak, and the customer service I had with them through the process was very good. It was, like I said, a long, painful process, but I was able to get into this purchase with only 10% down versus, you're looking, I think, traditional, you might be at least 20% down. If you do what Stacey does, of course, you're looking at different things with a higher interest rate and, quicker refinance and stuff. But this one was cash producing, cash flowing as is, even with his numbers. And so, I did multiple phone calls with Live Oak, and, they want to see a business plan, and they want you to talk through how you're going to make it better, because they want to fund good deals. And so I put together a business plan and spoke to them about the changes that I foresee us making in the first year. And, they were happy with that, and happy enough, to say, okay, let's move forward with this. So it took forever. It really did. So much back and forth. And, it saved me a lot of money. And so as far as putting money down, so that's why I keep telling myself, that's how I was like, okay, I can get this.
So how long did it take to close? How long did you have it under contract for?
5 months, I believe.
Yeah, because I've been telling people, if you want to do SBA, it's going to be like 4 to 6 months to close.
Yeah.
So what did the seller say about that? He was okay with?
They were okay with it. I was communicating with them what was going on. Thankfully, because they do business in the state that we're buying, some of the delay was actually not Live Oak's fault, not my fault. It was actually the state of Florida's fault, and their backup due to COVID. And so, at least 1 month of actually the closing process was the proper registrations within the state of Florida. And so, because they are a business owner down there, they know I'm not making that up. They know it's not my fault. And so they were patient enough with that. They were getting antsy at the end, no doubt, because it'd been 5 months, and I would sue. And so once we finally zoned in on a closing date, we were able to tell them that, and, Live Oak confirmed it. And so then they were going to 1031 the money into something else. And so that once that got established and they found something at 1031, that's kind of when they said, okay, we need to close by this date. And thankfully we did. And I think we closed 5 or 6 days before we left Jamaica. And so, it was a whirlwind of, you have to overnight all the stuff. And thankfully I have notary services available to me to have other stuff notarized, but it saved me a lot of money to put down. So I have more money for my next deal.